Right, D then was a little more open-ended discussion on additional ways to enhance the town's communication with town residents. Kathy, you had some ideas, or
I
maybe
did,
even tell people what's available now?
So, I did put something in the insert. So we do communicate with our residents on those inserts that go into every one of our tax bills. With that is also your burn permit and your dump permit. But we also communicate not only by phone and by counter. We also have, Sandy had mentioned it, about signing on to our emails notification. So we have a document center on our website, and you can go ahead and sign up and get notified of whenever I put something in that document center. You get notified that we have a meeting, or we have a packet, or the water monitoring was updated. That's all in the document center, so it's a real good way for the residents to get to know what's out there. So I think we have that. I've mentioned that in the insert. I mentioned the YouTube, not only seeing it live, but being able to go back and review a meeting that may have pertained to something that you weren't able to attend. So we work with our website pretty well, and if a resident wants to get on emails, it's automated. So that's what we have right now.
I think that's good, and if you put that in as an insert, I don't, it's just my point of view, I'm thinking that's not real easy or friendly to find that on our site right now.
What is it?
think how to sign up for
You go into the
email
document center,
notification.
and right on the top it says, sign up for email notification.
Well, I understand that. All I'm saying is I think we need to take every opportunity to remind people of that, to shout that out to people. How many participants do we have in that at this point in time? Do we know?
I didn't look into that.
But I mean, is it a
check.
couple hundred or something?
Yeah.
I mean, I think our goal would be to make that, and maybe we even need to almost make an announcement every meeting to make that abundantly clear to people. They need to avail themselves of that opportunity.
I mean, you could put that in the insert too, and we'll know it says that.
I do have it on the
Because,
insert.
I mean, I wasn't even aware that that was available, so it's good, I mean, it's a good thing. Like, we get our mail on our own website, I mean, we don't need to look at that, but I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, and at one point, that's how your packets and everything came, was by that email notification. So although, as new members, I send you all everything manually, if you were signed up, you would get it as soon as I send it out to the public, so I wouldn't have to do that extra step either, so.
The one gentleman, I just wanted to call out, because the gentleman brought it up in the citizens' comments about the state minimum, and perhaps that's not adequate. It's important that people, I think, understand that while they may not be aware of it, the board, not only this board, but previous boards, has done a lot to try to enhance communication. The state minimum for typical notification of a town board meeting, along with other meetings, is 24 hours for posting of the agenda. And not only this chairman, but the previous chairman, and I think the chairman before that, has had a long-standing policy of having the agenda and the packet information available to the public on the Friday before the Thursday meeting. So that's a full 6 days. So I don't want people to think that this board or previous boards are just doing what is the state minimum. In addition to that, as Kathy mentioned, not this board yet, but previous boards has spent a fair amount of money with cameras and AV equipment to put it up onto YouTube. So there is a lot going on to try to keep people informed. And I don't want people, I know that sometimes people become complacent, but this board and many boards before it, even before I was on, has gone a long, long way to go over the top of what is the minimum required. Once in a while, and it's been years, but once in a while we have an emergency meeting. I think it's been years for sure, and those are different posting requirements, but the normal course of action, and this chairman has made a significant effort to not only have the information posted, but also to make sure that those agendas don't get amended. So there's pretty significant effort that goes on to try to keep people in touch. I think doing a lot more for the document center notifications will go a long way, because that is that invite every time. So the more that we can do to get that into the forefront of people's mind will probably help us a great deal.
One other quick thing, I think that was well said. I mean, one other thing, I think a recognition, the town used to, I don't know exactly as to, but do a newsletter, and I'm not sure whether that was semi-annual or whether that was even quarterly at one point in time. I think the reality we're at, that is a time-intensive thing to mail that out to everybody in the town. It ends up being expensive and takes a lot of resources to do it. I think most people, we don't try to catch everybody, are electronically connected somehow or other, but I'd like to see, even if we got that document center and maybe something to work on, maybe we can get to the point that we can do a semi-annual or quarterly newsletter or something with some regularity, in addition to notifying people if special things come. But I think it's got to be an electronic-based thing, and we got to encourage people to do it. We're just going to kind of hitchhike. I mean, the tax bills are going out in the mail, and we're going to try to do that without busting the postage on those. But I think the days of doing regular mailings of newsletters to people or that type of thing, from my point of view, are over.
And we do have on the document center the newsletters. I recently put all the past ones that were never on the document center on it as well. So if we do a newsletter or even a small clipping, I can put it in the document center.
Okay, anything more on item 15D, discussion on additional ways to enhance the town's communication with town residents? And I mean, this needs to be an open discussion. If town residents have other suggestions and so forth to put forward, we'd sure like to hear them.